Hey there, I'm Monica Moore. I'm a dietitian at Southern Maine Healthcare pursuing my master's through our UNE program. This is my presentation for our education session for a population. My population is elementary school children age 6 through 11. We are at the pediatric office within our hospital system. We've been promoting this program for a few weeks since the beginning of the course to try and get kids in. The providers have been awesome about calling some of the families and inviting them in personally for some healthy eating education. The topic of the presentation is healthy eating, increasing fruits and vegetables, and decreasing soda intake. Unfortunately, no one came. So in our population here in Biddeford, Maine, and we're currently in our office in Kennebunk, Maine, the population tends to be something that attendance is a challenge for a lot of our outpatient providers. I see that at the hospital as well for patients coming in. The attendance rates just aren't great, and for kids, we're right before school vacation week, and it's just something once we're after school time to make it easier for them, but still we have trouble getting people in the door. So instead, I'm just going to do a mock presentation as if there were children in the room, and then for anybody watching, thank you for watching. I'm going to forward this to the providers at the Kennebunk Peds office as well so that they can utilize some of this information for the future for patients and also just see things that we can offer as dietitians going forward in the practice. So I'm just going to show you here what we have going on. So on the table here, we have some things set up. We have some different packets, and within the course of the session, you'll see what's in the packets. I'm going to record set over here. And for some of the activities, I'm just going to breeze through them only because there's no one to participate in them, so I'm going to do kind of just a visual of what they would have been. Alright. So hi again, I'm Monica Moore, clinical dietitian at Southern Maine Healthcare and UNE Master's candidate. Today's presentation is about healthy eating for kids. It's geared towards kids and their parents to join them. In front of all of the participants, there are packets that have a slide presentation created like a workbook since it's a different office space and there's not really ability to show a projection presentation. They have a cookbook, they have a coloring book, they have a word search that are fruit and vegetable based, both of those. They have a handout on how to make vegetables fun. They have a blank My Plate to color, and then they have all different types of blank paper and coloring kits. So we'll go ahead and start. So our outline today is talking about fruits and vegetables, how to increase them, why we need them, how much we need, how to include them, and some activities around getting kids excited for fruits and vegetables. We also have a topic about sugary drinks, so we're going to talk about why we should be careful of them, how much is in them, and what we should drink instead. So rolling into our first topic of fruits and vegetables, I will also send this PowerPoint along to anybody viewing this so that you can see the packet that they have in front of them as well, which has all this information in it, and it's very colorful and easy for kids and families to glance at and get some good information from. So fruits and vegetables, we all know that they're good for us, but how much do we actually need? For kids, and there's a chart included on the workbook, for kids, 1.5 cups of fruits and 1.5 cups of vegetables daily for 3 cups total is what we're shooting for this age group. That sounds like a lot, but when we think about a piece of fruit being anywhere from 1/2 cup to a cup in size, it's really not that much. It's just a matter of making sure that they are getting it in and kind of working it into their day instead of some of the other choices that they're making. And ideally, we want to find a rainbow of colors, and we're going to talk about that rainbow a little bit more in a few minutes. So the easiest way to explain to kids and to families how much we should be eating and what that looks like visually for fruits and vegetables is utilizing the My Plate. So I'll show this here. The website's right on the bottom, choosemyplate.gov. So this My Plate's a great tool to use for families and kids because kids can visualize this at any age. So half the plate's fruits and vegetables, 1/4 of the plate's your grain, 1/4 of the plate's your protein, and then a dairy source. Since we're talking about fruits and vegetables today, we're looking at this half of the plate being fruits and vegetables, which again should for kids come out to about 3 cups a day, ideally building to about 5 servings or more each day, which is going to be similar to an adult recommendation at that point. And we want to vary the types that we pick. So we don't want to eat the same fruit and the same vegetable over and over and over and over. Fruits and vegetables have lots of different vitamins and nutrients, and every colored fruits and vegetable is a different vitamin and nutrient that it's providing us. So we want to make sure we're eating a rainbow of colors when it comes to our fruits and veggies to make sure we're getting everything that our bodies need. So one of the first activities that we were going to do today is doing a color along. So if we look through our packet that we have, everyone has a blank My Plate. So this is also just right on choosemyplate.gov, something that can be easily printed out for patients. So with this, with your coloring material on the tables, I'm going to have all the kids color in the fruits and color in the vegetables. And as they're doing that, I want them to start thinking about what might be their favorite fruit and vegetable. And on the blank pages that are on the table, there's stacks of blank paper. Each kid should draw one fruit that they like and one vegetable that they like. Or if they're kind of not maybe a great fruit and vegetable eater to start with, just pick one. Pick one fruit or vegetable that they really like. Parents can certainly help in this task. And then we're going to share. So again, assuming they were here, we would do this. They would draw their fruits and veggies. We'd go around the room and everyone would hold up their fruit or their vegetable drawing and show or say, if they felt comfortable, what their favorite fruit and vegetable was. And this is a good start to be able to get kids to really just start engaging in the topic, start thinking about what they do like instead of worrying about, I don't like fruits and vegetables. They can at least usually find one thing, even if it's just this kid only eats banana, or this kid only eats strawberries. It's the only thing they'll eat. So at least most children will have one thing. And if not, parents can certainly jump in and say, well, I'll do my favorite fruit and we'll draw that. So again, it's just to engage kids and really get them into the activity because there's more activities to come around the fruits and vegetables, and so that's a start for us. So why are fruits and vegetables important? This is more geared towards the parents of the room, but kids too. They're high in fiber, they're high in the vitamins and minerals. For example, vitamin C. We have a lot of vitamin C in some of our fruits. This is good for the immune system, good for the teeth, good for the healing process. Vitamin A is good for our eyes. A lot of fruits and vegetables have great qualities that help our body inside and out. So it's really important. Plus the fiber content of our fruits and vegetables helps keep our bodies regular. So what goes in must come out, and it makes it a little bit easier for that process to happen and a little less stressful. So the next activity we're going to talk about, now that the kids have gone through and talked about which fruit and which vegetable they really like, or maybe the parents really like, we're going to start listing some. So on their handouts, they have some great colored examples of different fruits and vegetables great fruits and vegetables that are out there. And we're going to start listing. So up here on our board, we have a chart. And so what I would do with kids, and this is something that could be done in office settings one-on-one as well, but in a group setting it's more fun because kids can call out and join in. So a rainbow color of fruits and vegetables. So for example, let's pick a color of the rainbow, red. Let's name some red fruits and vegetables. We have strawberries, we have tomato, we have cherries, we have red peppers. And kids can, this is a great activity too because kids can really get creative, and some of the things that they're going to say are going to be kind of odd, but fun. So for instance, I had a kid recently who talked about, and I would say this to the group as well, who talked about bok choy. That was one of the foods he just really loved, and he loved this green vegetable so much, and he just ate it all the time with his family. And so when we talked about green vegetables, he said bok choy, and that was his guess. So it's a really fun activity, and it gets the kids kind of riled up and excited. Same thing parents can chime into if they want. So we go through red fruits and vegetables, green. So green we have celery and broccoli and green beans. And you go through all the different colors of the rainbow, red, green, blue, purple, all that fun stuff, and create a really extensive list of some of the different fruits and vegetables out there. This also gets kids interested in which fruits and vegetables maybe they've never heard of. For instance, if some child in the classroom said grapefruit, and that was one of their answers for the colors, another kid in the group might say, I've never had grapefruit before. I wonder what that tastes like. So it spurs some more peer interaction and allows kids to realize that other kids their own age also like fruits and vegetables and eat fruits and vegetables and are curious about fruits and vegetables. So it creates a really great peer support and tone, because socialness is a big part of our eating habits, especially school-age children, because they're eating lunch at school. And some kids have a fear or nervousness about bringing fruits and vegetables, bringing foods that are too healthy and not cool to school. So this kind of reminds them that other kids are in the same boat as them who are eating healthy or want to eat healthy. So after listing the rainbow colors of fruits and vegetables, let's talk about some ways that we can add more fruits and vegetables in. One of our handouts has a great way to add some in. So it's called Make Fruits and Veggies Fun. And this is actually from the Watermelon Foundation. There is such a thing at www.watermelon.org. So this is a great resource that health providers can get to pass out to families and kids. So some of the ways we can offer to add more fruits and vegetables: offering different varieties, offering them without pressure. This is a big one. Don't force kids to eat fruits and vegetables, because it'll just make them resist more. If you tell a kid to do something, what's the first thing you guys are going to say? You're going to say no. So going through and, just making sure it's a collaborative effort. Offering fruits and vegetables, obviously, that they like is a great start. If you know there's certain ones that are definite go foods, offer them more often. Ones that you're not so sure about, have on the table, eat as a family, but don't necessarily force it. Let a child kind of come around to it on their own. And this promotes a feeling of self-efficacy, which means kind of the ability to do it on their own, which a lot of children really value. Other ways to incorporate fruits and vegetables into the day: offer them as snacks or as an option to have at meal times. Add fruits and vegetables, like I said, that they already like, but add them to other food items. So if they like berries, if your child really loves strawberries, add it to more than just giving them strawberries for a snack. Add berries to cereal, add berries to ice cream at night, add berries to a smoothie during the day. So there's lots of other ways to sneak some fruits in, even if they're ones they already like, into different settings other than just they have to choose for a snack. Do I have berries or do I have crackers? They can have the crackers for snack and they have berries somewhere else. Trying different forms is really important. Some children, especially those with textural issues, sometimes it's not the taste of the food so much as the texture of the food and the fruit and vegetable that can be a turn off. So offering different ways. So for instance, if apple is the food of choice, if they take a bite of an apple or an apple slice and they're not really that interested, try applesauce. Try baked apples with a little bit of cinnamon on it. Try something along those lines that are a little bit different textures for each one, touch different tastes, but at least it's still a fruit serving. And you can still make it very healthy. You can get unsweetened applesauce, you can do baked apples with just cinnamon and no sugar. So there's still healthy foods, there's still apple, but just in a different form that maybe is texturally and consistency-wise a little more palatable and something that they're a little more accepting of. Allowing fruits and vegetables to be fun is really important, so let them interact with fruits and vegetables. Let them pick them in the grocery store. Let them see what's exciting to them when they go to the store and they see all these different colored things that they have no idea what they are. Let them pick something out to try, even if it's something random. We went out a few weekends ago to the grocery store with my boyfriend's son, and he doesn't eat a ton of fruits and vegetables, but he's very curious about them. So we went through the produce aisle, and I made a point to walk through each aisle of the produce aisle with him, saying we were looking for something. And, as we go through, he asked, what's that, what's that, what's that, what's that? And we got to lemons, and he said, ooh, lemons. I said, do you like lemons? Because I'm not exactly sure. I've never tried it. I said, do you want to? I can. Sure, why not? So we bought a lemon. A random choice, but it was exciting for him, and he picked it. So we got home, he took a bite of the lemon, did not care for it, but he tried it, and that was the important part. And next time he said, next time we go, I think I'm going to try something different. So it already created an activity where he picked something himself, making him more open to try it. Even though he didn't like it, he was more open to trying the experience overall of trying a different fruit and vegetable the next time, because he got to select whichever one he wanted, even if it was something that was not the most common. So things like that we can do with kids all the time to be able to promote them to make their own decisions, but still guiding them in a healthy way. Allowing kids also to participate in the washing or the cutting if you have a child-safe knife, or the prepping of the foods can also be a great way to encourage them to eat more fruits and vegetables. If they are in charge of washing that fruit and cutting it up and putting it into whatever recipe you're making or putting it on the plate, they might be more apt to try it because they made that. So those strategies can be great to be able to get kids to just try more fruits and vegetables, and eventually they will eat more fruits and vegetables. But just the trying part is is a lot of times the biggest challenge. So speaking of trying new foods, that brings us into our next activity. So the next activity is based on a stoplight, a traffic light. So thinking of a traffic light, we have green, we have red on top, sorry about that. We have red, we have yellow, and we have green. Green means go in traffic world, yellow means slow down, red means stop. Kids know this. So when we connect that to food, green is our go foods. Those are fruits and vegetables that they like, that they'll eat fine. Red, those are no foods. Those are stop foods. Those are ones they will not touch, don't put them near them, they will not eat them. And kids, as well as adults, are always going to have a few foods that they just don't care for, and that's normal. It's okay for kids to not eat everything or not like everything food-wise, as long as they have other options. And then the yellow is the maybe foods. So this is the important ones. The yellow are the ones they either have never tried, or the ones that they haven't tried in a long time and are maybe willing to think about retrying. And that's where we want to target our attention. So for the next activity, it's creating our own stoplight lists. So on the blank paper that everybody has in front of them, you're going to write on the top a column for red, a column for yellow, and a column for green. And on there, parents and kid will work together and list the foods that fall into each category. So green foods, fruits and vegetables that they like. Red foods, fruits and vegetables they have tried and definitely do not like. And yellow, fruits and vegetables that maybe they've never tried or haven't tried in a while and are willing to try again, or a different form of a fruit and vegetable that they've never tried. And this list we just made of all the rainbow colored fruits and vegetables is a great inspiration to work with to make those lists. So go through, and even if you just pick a few items for each group, then we'll go through and share. This would be the break for them to do that. After creating it, I would ask, does anybody have any list that they want to share? Does anyone want to share their red, yellow, and green foods? And someone will say, yes, I do, and share their foods. And so what we do now with these lists that the parents and kids have worked together on is the yellow foods become the target focus, those maybe foods, to get kids to eat more fruits and vegetables. Start trying those foods. Those are ones the kids have chosen on their own that they're interested in trying. And you don't need to do it all at once, and it doesn't need to be a forced activity. It's just a bite. So next time you're going to the store, bring that list with you and look through and say, all right, which food, or in this case we're doing fruits and vegetables specifically, which fruits and vegetable on the yellow list do we want to try this week? And go through, let your kid pick, and that's the one you pick, and then you try and either find a recipe for it or give it to them as is if it's a food that can be eaten just whole, and see what they think, see what happens. If they don't like it, you can try it in a different form like we talked about, or you move on, that goes onto the red list, the no thank you list, and you start again the next week and pick another one off the yellow list to try. And eventually the hope is that you try enough off the yellow list, which are their selection of interest foods, then eventually some will be moved over to the green list, the go list, because they'll try some things that they didn't know they liked until they try it. So this is a great way also to increase the variety of the fruits and vegetables they're eating. And you can do this with any types of foods too. It doesn't have to just be fruits and vegetables, but that's our focus today. So doing the stoplight list together really can be a great family experience, and everybody in the family could get in on it. It doesn't have to just be for kids, but it's a great kid one because they get to pick which is on what list. There's no judgment, there's no saying no, that they can't not have something or have something, and the parents are working with them around their own preferences. So does anybody have any questions about increasing fruits and vegetables or the activities that we did today? Nope. Okay, so the next topic, the next thing that we're talking about today is sugary beverages. So we're shifting gears completely. Sugary beverages are also one of the things that we struggle with kids because a lot of kids drink sugary beverages. And why does that matter? Well, who cares if they drink sugary beverages? Well, high sugar intake can contribute to obesity or overweight in children, weight gain that is not necessary or needed, diabetes, which we see more diabetes in younger kids, which is something that in the past we never really saw a ton of, and now we're seeing a lot of type 2 diabetes in children, which is concerning. Cavities, this is a big one for dentists. You'll hear this a lot at the dentist's office. The more sugar we eat, the more likely we're going to get cavities. And for kids, we want to take care of those teeth. They have a long life ahead of them. Dehydration is another one that we see with sugar intake more indirectly, because if they're drinking soda, if they're drinking juices and things like that, they're maybe not drinking as much water, so they're not staying as hydrated, which if we're dehydrated, can lead to lots of issues, which, especially in children, we're looking at things like constipation when we're dehydrated, because the more fluid, especially water we're drinking, the more things will move. And also fatigue, headaches, those types of symptoms that can come along with dehydration that in kids, they can't maybe always express to us their feeling, but they are. We also see with children, when they're drinking a lot of sugary beverages, they tend to be eating a lot less healthy, nutritious food. They're filling up on the sugar in the drinks, and they're not eating the foods, which, from our previous topic, we want them to eat fruits and vegetables, and maybe even incorporate them into snack times instead of filling up between meals on the sodas. So it is really important to be paying attention to. So, time for the next activity. We're going to go through as a group and go through some of the common drinks. And as we go through, we're going to talk about how much sugar is in them. Visualize is important. So, for instance, up here, we have some different bottles that we're going to work with today. We have Coca-Cola, we have Gatorade, we have Canada Dry Ginger Ale, we have water, we have a Cumberland Farms slushie, and we have a Pure Leaf Tea iced tea, which is raspberry flavored. So looking at these might be familiar to kids. These are common that children drink, not just soda, which we know as adults are high in sugar, and kids maybe know they're sugary, but also things like Gatorade, slushies, and iced tea that families might think maybe is a better option instead of the soda, but in reality maybe just as high in sugar as the soda drinks. So we have those here. We also have sugar and a teaspoon. So going through, we're going to go through each one, and I'll fill one up, but we're not going to fill all of them up. So going through, we'll start with the slushie. This is one I see kids a lot with because it's kind of like juice but frozen. It's very desserty and sweet, but kids are drinking them at school and after school, especially teenagers too. We see drinking these because they have a little more ability to walk and get them. So anybody in the room have any guesses of how many teaspoons of sugar we think are in one of these slushies? So the answer is, this slushie has 60 grams of sugar for the adults who know what that means. For the kids, that's 15 teaspoons of sugar. So if we were going through and using our sugar example here, we're going to count together. And getting everybody to count together is going to stick it in our head how much is really in there and get everybody really involved in this activity. So everybody ready? All right. 15 we're counting to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, still going, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right, we got it now. So 15 teaspoons, or 60 grams for the grown-ups, of sugar in this slushy drink. So if you're sending your kid with this, you know, it's a big deal. That's a lot of sugar. And we're going to pass this around so everybody can see. I'll show my virtual audience here. That's a lot of sugar in that icy drink. And we think about the slushies too. A lot of this is actual ice. So most of what the flavor is just sugar. So pass this around to the group. Every kid gets to look at it, gets to shake it, gets to see. And again, the more they touch, the more they see, the more they participate, the more it sticks in their head. And for the parents too, it can be eye-opening because a lot of families don't realize how much is really in these things. So we'll do that for all of these bottles. We won't fill each one up, but I'll say, just because no one's here, but I will say how much is in each one. And again, each time we do it, we count together and we pass it around the group so everyone can look and see and shake. And again, really just, we're trying to really ingrain it into kids' minds. These are not the best options. These are treats. These are special occasion drinks. They don't have to give up soda forever and say they could never have Coca-Cola if they love it. Maybe they just have it on pizza night. Maybe they just have it on a night that they go out and do something, or a night that they go out to a restaurant to eat. Something along those lines is a great tactic that they connect. It's not a forbidden food, but it's a once in a while food, not an everyday thing. So Coca-Cola, this is the common one. This is just a regular old Coca-Cola. This is a 20-ounce bottle, which is the typical you're going to see in a 7-Eleven or something like that. So Coca-Cola, 65 grams of sugar. That's 16.25 teaspoons. So 16 of these teaspoons. This slushie was 15, so it's even more than that in this little bottle. If we looked at our Sprite, Sprite is 63 grams of sugar, 16 teaspoons. Canada Dry or ginger ale. Some parents think that this is a healthier choice, and once in a while, if they're sick, it's okay. They can have a little bit sometimes, that's fine. But as an everyday drink, as an alternative to soda, it's really not a whole lot better. 59 grams of sugar, which is 14.75 teaspoons. So almost as much as that slushy. So still not a great choice for an all-the-time drink. So the other ones that we have here are ones that we don't always think about as being sugary beverages. They're not soda, so we don't think about it as often. So for kids, Gatorade's really popular. Who in the room drinks Gatorade? Some of you. So how much sugar do we think is in Gatorade? Do we think there's a lot or a little? Okay. Whatever the guess is. So Gatorade has 34 grams of sugar, and this is in a 20-ounce bottle, so again, the same size as the sodas. So 34 grams of sugar. It is half the amount of sugar as in our Coke, but still 34 grams of sugar, which is still 8.5 teaspoons of sugar, which is way too much. Now if you look at our Pure Leaf iced tea, this is one that's marketed as being a really healthy food. It's pure. The word pure is right there. But it's flavored, raspberry flavored. So again, we forget about things like lemonade or iced teas. They can be sugary too. So for kids, how many do we think is in here? More or less than the Gatorade? Well, the answer is more. This is more sugar than Gatorade has in almost as much as our soda. It has 46 grams of sugar, which is 11.5 teaspoons. So if we were to go around and pass all these bottles around that have all this sugar in here, that's a substantial amount of sugar if we're drinking it all the time. So for kids, we would be going through and doing this whole activity, and the kids would be going, oh, oh, oh. Hopefully they're, excited about the activity. So going through, and then the final one we're going to do is water. How much sugar do we think is in water? And everyone will say their guess. The answer is none. There's no sugar in water. Water is an excellent drink. This is what we should be drinking more of. We should be replacing as many of our sugar drinks as we are able to with water. It's not going to be perfect all the time, but as long as we're doing it sometimes, it's going to be better. And we want to alternate also with some other drinks, like, for instance, if kids really like sweet things, what about homemade fruit-infused water? So soaking fruit, real fruit, in a pitcher of water in the fridge. This gives a little hint of that taste, but not the actual sugar that goes into our flavored drinks. And also, like we said, trying to promote for kids, what do you think if you could still have soda, but maybe you only had it when you go out to dinner, or only had it on special occasions, so it was really super special? What do you think about that? And let the kids also engage and tell you what they think. And some may say, well, I just really love it. What do I do? And then maybe you suggest, well, how much do you drink now? I drink 2 bottles a day. Do you think you could maybe drink only 1 bottle a day so you can still have it, but maybe you're just having less, so it's just better for our bodies? And then the other bottle that you drink a day is water instead. Kids are adaptable, and suggesting a compromise could be a way to, again, promote them to make the decision and encourage them to make a better decision. So does anybody have any questions about sugary beverages? No? Okay. So in the packets that are on the table as well, there's also some additional resources such as our Hannaford dietitians, our local outpatient dietitians, and the USDA MyPlate website, so that people can go and look up more information or get some more information from a qualified nutrition professional if they would like to. So at this point, I would say thank you to everybody. Ask for any additional questions from the group or comments even, and also asking for feedback from the kids. And I would ask, what have we learned today? And let everybody chime in. It doesn't have to be formal. Any child that wants to participate and say what they learned, great. This is going to allow me as the educator to evaluate if the goals of my session have been met as far as increasing fruits and vegetables, decreasing sugar. And then also I'm going to go around the room if someone feels comfortable and ask, what's one thing different that you're going to do after today about fruits and vegetables or about soda? And go around the room. And everybody can have a pass. So if you don't want to participate, you just shake your head and we'll move on. You do not have to speak or or verbalize if you don't want to. Parents can certainly do it too, and go around and see what everybody plans to do going forward, and make sure everybody at least is getting something valuable out of the session and planning to make one small positive change for nutrition going forward. So with that, I will say thank you to those watching on the video. I hope that this was helpful for providers and my classmates as well to be able to see how the presentation would have gone if the participants were here. We will keep attempting, but thank you very much for watching and have a good day.